When lightning strikes, boom, right afterwards. When you see that flash and then boom. I live in the desert, so we get a lot of flash floods and big storms, and it's exciting. Well, it's not exciting if it's personally inside of you. Now, you know that quiet before the storm. It's that moment of but you feel like something's gonna hit the fan. Something's gonna come down. This is too quiet. And most of the time it is too quiet. And now I'm Diana, and I talk about Cassandra Syndrome. Today I'm talking about a little bit more. And what that is kind of a caregiver burnout, or when you don't feel up to the challenge, where you're just, you have that moment and you can't even relax in that moment, the calm before the storm, because you know something's going to happen. And you have to be on. You have to keep being on. And in our relationships and just in life, I took care of my parents for over 10 years. And I suffered from caregiver burnout. Now, why would I be talking about Cassandra Syndrome and being married to someone who's autistic? Wait a minute. We're not caregivers, but we kind of are. And we have permission to not be well. And what that means, and I know you know what it means, is that we feel we always have to be on. We feel like we have to make sure everything's going well all the time. There is no single human being out there alive that can constantly forever do that. And you know. But we feel like we really have to. We feel like we have to be on top of things. And that's not good. And that builds up some of the anger. But let's say, if you're listening, if you're new to my channel, and welcome, it's a fun, I hope so, it's a fun experience, I don't know. If you're struggling from caregiver burnout, I'm hoping I can help you here because I've experienced it. Taking care of my parents for so long. And then I go into this relationship not realizing I'm gonna still be a caregiver. Now guess what? I'm not your caregiver type. Like, I'm not that loving, soft-spoken. I'm kind of just get up, let's go personality. And so it's just been like, feeling cursed with this. What the heck? So if you're someone who feels, how did this happen to me? How on earth am I in this relationship? How on earth do I find myself either taking care of my parents or taking care of someone who I love dearly, but I also have to work. I also have to make ends meet. I have to do everything. I'm burning candles at both ends. And what do? You can't do it all. You just can't. And as much as you say, I have to, you don't have to. Learning to ask for help is some of the hardest things for any of us to do when we know, when you're training somebody and it's taking forever and you're just, I have to do it all myself because I'm the one who knows. But really, you can't. You have to let go of some of that feeling, and it's hard. It's like me if I were to have somebody come in and pack up my stuff for me to move because my body's just hurting and I can't do it. I still feel like I'm gonna have to work harder to tell them what to do. So you feel like there's nobody else out there can do your job but you. And true, total truth. They can't do it, but like you can, but they can help. And maybe it won't get done the way you want it. that part you have to let go of. We start to become so involved in having to control everything because we do take the brunt of being the caregiver, the only one that understands what's going on. You know exactly how things need to go to be smooth, to work out, that it works out the way it needs to. And in life, it just never does. I've learned that the hard way. And you're probably thinking control freaks. No, we're just in a situation when you're a caregiver, you're dependent upon. And that's where you just have to take charge. And you start to get into that rhythm of just things going the way you need them to go, because you're the only one that's going to do it. But that burden on you, that burnout that can happen will affect you physically, no matter what. You know that I'm not sure of the statistics now. When I was in caregiver groups and grieving groups, when I was taking care of my parents, they said 80% of caregivers get physically ill. And I did get sick, very sick. Actually, right now, I've been battling with an illness with my face. I try to put on the makeup and I'm still peeling like a freaking lizard. I have, issues. And I know it's from the stress. A lot of it's from the stress. And there's environmental factors. But you can handle the environmental factors if you're not so stressed out. So that calm before the storm, let's go back to that. It just feels too peaceful, right? Part of it is because you can't calm down. You know, if you just sit down for a second, everything will fall apart. So when there's a calm, when you actually can sit down, you don't. Because you just know that, well, something's gonna happen. I gotta get to work. I gotta do something. This is not, but really just sit down. Let life do its thing. You're not responsible for everything and all that happens. It's not your fault with what happens with your partner, with a parent that you might be taking care of. I'm combining this because it's very similar. If you're married with someone on the autistic spectrum, you are the non-autistic person. There's going to be more work for you. And part of it is a caregiver role. Just in relationship, it's harder for someone with autism in that relationship. And even in caregiving, when I took care of my parents, what I understand about that is that you just feel everything is on you. And it's not. It just isn't. To sit down, and that storm's gonna come no matter what. But you gotta rejuvenate. You have to take care of yourself so you don't get sick. Because if you're sick, sometimes we'll wait until we get sick in order to get well. When we're sick, we're forced to lay down and not do anything. Try not to let that happen. Sometimes it can be a devastating illness that you never recover from. Ugh. And you are just doing your best, and you don't feel like you can ever have that moment to be at peace but you just have to. You just have to. You have to sit down, call a friend. You have to sit down, write in your journal. You have to do those things just as much as you have to do the other stuff. It's hard. Is that selfish? Is that selfish of me to do that? Not at all. If the plane's going down, you have to put on the mask first to breathe before you put it on your kid. We know all that. We know we have to take care of ourselves to take care of others, but we don't know how to apply that. If you don't know how to use that mask to breathe, how is it going to help you anyway? So you have to learn. You have to train yourself. This is what I have to do. Even the simple thing, if you are sitting down on a computer, that's still stress. That's sitting down with stress. I do that a lot. Set that 20-minute timer. Just do that. Set the 20-minute timer so you don't stress out your eyes, your brain, your mind from all the stuff that we do on the computer. Every 20 minutes, it rests your eyes so you don't have that headache in the morning. And then even a 5-minute meditation, you just sit down for 5 minutes. You know that I have meditated in the grocery line because you're stuck there in line, and just follow your breath. Whatever moment you can, traffic. I used to do it in traffic because you're stuck there. Calm that mind. You can do meditation any time of the day. I learned that from my 3 months in the Buddhist monastery. It's such a simple thing that will help you. Each of these little tiny moments when you're with yourself, your body's thanking you. Your body, your heart, your stomach, every part of you is working so hard for you constantly. Give it some rest. All right, take care of yourself.